Rebel salute to everyone out there. This is Kenya Revolutionary, the Pontifex Maximus. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well on this Monday. I will be here briefly for 30 minutes because I have things to do, but I just want to briefly talk about some things concerning the Kenyan politics. As you know, that's my specialty, that's my passion, that's my pet project. All right. As you can see, the discussion today is about Muthaura wa Madharau, Osoro the nitwit, and Azimio at it again. We are going to address some, not all, but some of what Muthaura wa Madharau, Francis Muthaura, this guy who worked under who worked under Kibaki, who was really not throwing salvo, but was really what's the name I'm looking for? Kind of messing up the talks between the government and Raila Odinga in 2007. We shall get into that. Because Francis Muthaura, he wants to rewrite his history. He thinks Kenyans are stupid that we forgot his role in the post-election violence. Not only that, but his role in deterring the talks, the peace talks, when Kofi Annan had to come in to mediate the talks between Kibaki, who lost the elections, and Raila Odinga. And Muthaura is trying to rewrite history. He's trying to paint himself as a hero. But we'll get into that. The second, I just want to talk about Osoro, the nitwit. Osoro's pronouncements this past weekend was comical, if not sad. It's past. Some of these politicians, what they say are past ridiculous. They're just comical at this point, because for a politician to address the public in the manner in which he did, you can only laugh. But the sad part is the joke is on us, the people of Kenya, because we tolerate people like this. The third part that I want to address, which I'll actually start with, is Azimio. Apparently, the talks have concluded. The silly talks that Azimio were having with Kenya Kwanza about bringing back the cost of living and all that nonsense they were talking to. The talks that are being led by Kalonzo Musyoka and Kimani Machungwa. This coffee is so good. But let's get started to it. Let's get started, okay? I will not waste anybody's time because I only roughly have 30 minutes, okay? If you want to join the studio and you want to join the discussion, there's the link. I will post the link right now. There it is. Let me highlight it so you can see the link. That's the link. If you want to join me and you have something you want to say, get in the stadium, get in the studio and talk to me. Tell me what I'm saying that you feel that you don't agree with, or if you want to make your contribution, get in. You're all welcome. You're all welcome, as the Germans would say, right? Okay. Let's start with the Azimio folks, our good friends from the Azimio. I'm looking at the Twitter sphere here, just because I just opened my X, and Boni Kalwale, you Kalwale. Anyway, watch it. Let me come down today. Kalwale, Kalwale. This is what Kalwale posted. Kalwale, Boni Kalwale. Kalwale posted a picture of Prince Charles. Well, he's no longer Prince, he's King Charles now. That ugly bastardo, the son of Lizzie. Lizzie's in a box. Lizzie is dead. Queen Elizabeth, that evil, old, decrepit queen. Okay? She's dead. Thank God she's dead. Hopefully she's rotting in hell, paying for her sins. His son is apparently coming to Kenya for their Commonwealth visits. Commonwealth, okay? And this is what these enslaved fools like Boni Kalwale is writing. And he posted also his picture. Go to Boni Kalwale's page on X. This is what he wrote. King Charles has chosen Kenya for his first visit to a Commonwealth country, an honor of mega proportions that underpins our reputation as the linchpin for regional stability, and which will be a major booster to our tourism and enhance ours as a preferred international investment destination. Calls for reparations for British rule should not be allowed to form the face of the great visit. Welcome, Your Majesty. This is the kind of lobotomized parrots I'm talking about. This Boni Kalwale, with all the education he has, is still talking about we should not ask for reparations from the Queen of England. Do you know how many people this Queen and King, so for the monarchy, the British monarchy, has caused in Kenya? I'm talking about Kenya alone, not even Africa. It goes beyond Africa. Okay? These people are evil. The British monarch, okay? I'm not even mentioning what these people did to the American Indians, okay? I'm not mentioning what they did to Canada. I'm not even mentioning what they did in South Africa, okay? Kenya, Nigeria. I can go on. This British monarchy has killed more people. They will make Hitler look like a choir boy, okay? Not to mention the Portuguese, what the Portuguese did to Congo. And it hasn't stopped, okay? So someone like Boni Kalwale, who is saying calls for reparations for British rule should not be allowed to form the face of the great visit. This slave, in the name of the Boni Kalwale, thinks it's the King Charles visiting Kenya is such a great deal. It will bring investments, businesses, international businesses in Kenya, just because this ugly, evil, decrepit son of dead Elizabeth is visiting Kenya. There's nothing honorable, there's nothing majestic about the Queen or the King of England. These are evil Luciferian people who have stole the wealth of the world. Okay? They only survive because of the wealth that they've stolen across the world. Not only in Africa, but in the Americas, in Australia, in Canada. But again, our friend Boni Kalwale does not know better. When people are calling for the reparations, for the mistreatment, the massacre, the genocide that the British government did to the Mau Mau fighters in Kenya, the people who were tortured, killed, some of them, their skull was taken to the museum in England. Okay? And then you have somebody, a politician, who have no sense of history. He even calls himself a doctor. Kalwale, the bullfighter. These are the people who you call your leaders, your politicians, are treating the British monarch with such veneration. They're telling you, no, don't call for reparation. Don't call for reparation for the British rule, the atrocities that the British government did to the African people. The land that is still occupied in Kenya. Boni Kalwale, you need to commit suicide. You're worthless. If somebody can actually say that we should not call for reparation from the British rule, and this is a public official. Boni Kalwale is a public official. He calls himself a doctor. And you wonder why Africa, we're still lagging behind economically because we bow down to our colonial masters. We will even roll down red carpets to our colonial masters, telling them, hey, come to Kenya, bring investments. You wonder why Africa is still lagging behind economically. In terms of natural resources, Africa is the richest continent in the world. Congo alone is the richest in the world. South Africa, Namibia, Kenya, Ghana, Ivory Coast. We hold the most minerals in the world. We have gold, diamonds. The money that BRICS are going to back their new currency with is gold. We don't have to go to America or Russia or Europe or South America to get gold. We can only dig it. But look out. Look who's digging all the gold in Africa. It's the European countries. We can't even get in control of our own resources, with the exception of the new administration in Burkina Faso. You saw Ibrahim Traore, once he took over the country and removed that French puppet, and he took control of all the natural resources, kicked out the French, kicked out the Americans, kicked out the British, and told them, now you have to pay in order to get any natural resources from a country. Guess what they did? Now they're lining up in Ivory Coast. The same British that Boni Kalwale is telling them, welcoming, have sent troops. The French have sent troops. Are right now, as we speak, are along the Ivory Coast. They want to strike Burkina Faso, just for the fact that Burkina Faso have decided to take control of their natural resources. These are the people that Boni Kalwale is welcoming in Kenya. Criminals. There's nothing magisterial about the British monarchy. They're a bunch of criminals. And they've always committed crime across the world. In America, in Africa, in Australia, in New Zealand. They killed a lot of Aborigines. Go read about that. The British monarch. And they still rule the world. Criminally, illegally. America is still being ruled by the British. All their taxes that they pay, the IRS, the Federal Reserve, so forth, so forth. America is a corporation. You cannot start a corporation. A corporation, go look at the history. Okay? The King of England was the only person that will give you permission to start a corporation outside of England. I will repeat this. Go do your research. The King of England, had to give you permission. That's how cooperation started. That's how cooperation was started. But I'll tell you, I'll give you, just sit tight. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to learn something today. Go read your history. Corporations were started by the British monarchy. The king had to give you permission to start a corporation. Okay? And that's how they went and took over the United States of America. United States of America is no longer a republic. United States of America is a corporation. Okay? The Federal Reserve is a private bank, but it's still controlled by the monarch. The taxes that they pay through the IRS goes to pay the King of England. Read this book, Silent Coup, How Corporations Overthrew Democracy. Corporations are the making of the monarch, the British monarch, the king. Why do you think Rigathi Gachagua was saying Kenya is a corporation and we get the people who whatever will get the shares? He knows something, because the neo-colonial method of ruling the world is through corporate greed, corporation, corporatocracy. That's what they call it. Corporations rule the world, okay? And they're in cahoots with the Vatican. Those satanists that pretend to be worshiping God in the Vatican, okay? The Pope and all those funny old men that are wearing sheets and funny hats at the Vatican. They're all in cahoots with the corporate world, along with the British monarchy and all the kingdoms in the world, with the exception of a few. And you can see who is not buying their crap. That's why you see they're so against Russia. Because Putin is saying, no way, you guys cannot rule the world like this. And it's standing up to them. Boni Kalwale, do your research. Boni Kalwale, you're an embarrassment. Let's get to ODM. I don't have much time today. Let's get to ODM. Let's get to ODM. What are the ODM claiming? They say something very funny today. I want to see what ODM. Let me search ODM. Is it Azimio or ODM or whatever the case is? ODM party. Let me see. All right, here we go. ODM party with a silly picture of Raila Odinga. I want to read the statement that they wrote. I don't know where they wrote it. I don't know. I'm trying to find it. I saw it earlier, but I don't know where it's at right now. Okay, here it is. I've seen it. Okay. Oh, shit. Let me enlarge it. All right. This is by ODM. This is what ODM wrote today. ODM, which is part of the Azimio. I told you Azimio is basically comprised of ODM at this point. ODM is dead, okay? I mean, Azimio is dead. It's only on ODM. But I'll read what they said, okay? So this is what they wrote today. The Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, as a core member of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to the ongoing dialogue facilitated by the National Dialogue Committee, NADCO. We firmly believe that the success of the talks is contingent upon the ability to resonate with the collective hopes and address the concerns expressed by the people of Kenya regarding governance and economic matters. ODM party wholeheartedly subscribes to 5 pivotal issues put forth by the Azimio delegation for discussion, which encompasses, here their names it. Number 1, taming the high cost of living. Number 2, ensuring electoral justice. Number 3, the restructuring and reconstitution of IEBC. Number 4, upholding fidelity to multi-party democracy. Number 5, respecting the rights of political parties. Okay, I will not read the rest of them. But there's something else they wrote, okay, which they mentioned. They say that they do not want to involve the IMF. They don't want IMF and World Bank to be part of to influence the final discussion, which I think was funny. I don't know where IMF and World Bank is coming on, is playing a part of this, because this was supposedly supposed to be Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. Again, I've gone through these points and I'll go through them one more time to show you how ridiculous this. Taming of high cost of living. Why do you need 2 political coalitions to talk about the taming of the high cost of living? This falls under the executive. We voted for Ruto to take care of that. That's why he has his own economic team. We don't need them to say, if they don't like what is happening, that's why we have the parliament. Go to parliament, okay? Tell your representative to go to parliament and tell your parliamentarian that, hey, the cost of living is high. Go take care of it. Tell the president, this is the whatever. And the ODM people should come with their proposal to challenge what the president is doing in parliament. All this should be done in parliament. You don't need talks outside of the parliament to bring out the high cost of living, okay? So I don't know why they're wasting our time and everybody's time. Ensuring electoral justice. Which electoral justice? We went to Supreme Court, we talked about it. We asked you, what happened? Where's the injustice? You guys did not have enough agents in all polling stations, which is your fault, ODM. It's not the fault of Kenya Kwanza, okay? Justice Manani asked you, where do you say what happened? Can you name one server that you think that was kind of manipulating the results? They could not do that. The case was handled at Supreme Court, the highest court on the land. Case closed. You cannot discuss that outside of the Supreme Court. It cannot happen. That's why I'm telling you, this is just nonsense, but it's designed for ODM to say that, oh, you know what? Ruto is not collaborating because Ruto cannot open the servers. It is the IEBC who can only do that. And they can only do that if they choose to, because legally they'll say the matter of ascertaining as to who won the election had been taken care of by the Supreme Court. So they don't need to revisit that. They don't have to, and they won't. And once they do that, Raila Odinga with his minions will probably go back to Mandamano. And that's what they're waiting for. Okay, let's go to number 3. The restructuring and the reconstitution of the IEBC. Again, these are things that can be discussed at the parliament. That's the legislative body. You can discuss that and tell, hey, listen, can we change the law, work on a law that will restructure the current composition of these IEBC officials? That's something can discuss on the parliament, okay? You don't need Kalonzo Musyoka and Machungwa to sit down in Bomas eating 1 million a day or 1 million, whatever the money they're being paid. Okay, upholding the fidelity to multi-party democracy. You can't tell someone to stay in one party. If they don't want to stay in ODM or they don't want to stay in Kenya Kwanza or UDA, you can't legislate that. That is their right. If today I was voted in as the ODM, okay, I go to parliament, I'm the member of, I don't know, Karachuonyo South, whatever, MP, I'm there, and I go there with ODM ticket, and I vote against the parliamentary, whatever, the whip. Who is the whip there? Wandani, okay? If I vote against them, you know, I can have a reason not to, because the whip will tell us, hey, listen, on this issue, we are going to vote like this, okay? Yeah. I can tell Wandani, hey, Wandani, this is what happened. I went to Karachuonyo South, and the people of Karachuonyo South told me that, you know what? Their position is going against what you're trying to get me to vote on. So, Mr. Wandani, I'm sorry, I have to vote against what the whip is wants us to vote, okay? And we can disagree on that based on what the people I represent tell me. Now, if this keeps on going and they think that, oh, I'm not towing the line of the ODM line, then I can leave the party, okay? I can leave the party. It doesn't mean that I have to stay. So this upholding fidelity to multi-party democracy it doesn't make sense. I know the ODM Azimio folks were complaining because they were saying the president is buying a lot of people from ODM to Kenya Kwanza. Number one, you have to prove it. Are they buying them? Where's the money? Was there exchange of money, okay, in hands, okay? Were they buying people? You have to prove that, okay? Because this happens every time, okay? Whether they leave your party to go there because they were paid or they're persuaded by your ideology, it does not matter. What I'm saying is this. The problem is people just use these political parties to get positions. That's why you see people are supporting Baba. Once Baba lost, everyone jumped ship. Now you can't come up and complain and say, oh, you have to uphold fidelity to your party, okay? Because people are not ideologically inclined to stay in one party. In fact, these parties have no ideology. They just have a bullet point of what they want to do and what they think they can do, and they go up there. There's nothing really of substance, okay? These people are not principled ideologically, okay? They're just a bunch of people who are looking for positions. That's why you always have people going to one party after one party after one party after one party. It will happen until that is addressed, but you can't address it by having these two talks. That's the nature of democracy. If someone doesn't feel like being an audience, let them go. If they have to go back to Wananchi, if the Wananchi are not happy, I'll give you one example. If the people who represented me, they voted me on an ODM ticket, okay? I go there and the ODM people don't like what I'm doing, and the people are not happy with what I'm doing. Then I have to go back to the people, okay, and run, if I still want to run, retain my position, run on an independent ticket, okay? Independent. Remember Obado, this Obado guy in, where was it? Not Mumias, where was it? Obado was it from, is it Homa Bay? Somewhere. He was the governor somewhere. I forgot. But anyway, ODM wanted to take him out. Mbadi and them wanted to take him out. They were like, hey, this guy, he has a case with whatever, that side piece that died, whatever. They wanted to take him out. But guess who protected Obado? The Migori County. Thank you, thank you, Brother Benzo. A friend of the show, very nice guy. Please go. Yes, Migori County. Yes, thank you, Brother Benzo. Yes, Migori County. The ODM went against him. They wanted to take him out from the party, and it was going to force him to step down or something like that. Okay, but the people of Migori County. Thank you for the correction there. The people of Migori County said, no, we want our governor. He has been doing a good job. We are happy with him. We don't agree with you, the ODM hierarchy. And Obado stayed and finished his term. Okay, so again, that's a perfect example of showing you if if the people, it's a people thing. Yes, you went on an ODM ticket, but what you must not forget is that even though you went to an ODM ticket and you agreed to adhere to ODM policies and what they are putting forth, okay, your final boss, your number one boss is not ODM. Your number one boss is the people who represent you. I mean, the people who you represent, who chose to represent you. Okay. So if these guys want to take you out, and the people say no, because you have to remember this. Some people, most of people who voted for Obado was part of this political party that was popular within Migori, which was ODM. Okay, and Obado got in trouble, whatever the case was, and the party was not happy with Obado. Okay, but Obado's boss, who are the people who voted him in, they said, no, we are keeping Obado. We are not going to kick Obado. So ODM had no power at that point because the people he was representing, who are his boss, because the people are the ones who will decide. Okay, that's why you see it's going to be very hard for ODM to kick out Karoli, Jalas. I mean, maybe Jalas might go because, you know, his constituency is kind of different. He's running in Langata. Langata is tricky, you know, they might take him out. But as of right now, the reasons that they were giving, trying to take Jalas, it will not work because they were saying Jalas met the president, Jalas voted against the parliamentary PPG, Wandanyi's whip. That's not enough. That's not enough to suggest that that he left the party. Okay, I know the law says that if the member of parliament, okay, does not go along with what the party is advocating, they might be deemed as they have left the party. So that's what, if you go listen to Mbadi was talking about this in Spice FM. So they were using that clause, okay, to try to kick out Karoli and Jalas. But the Jalas, the reason why they cannot be kicked out is because Jalas are arguing that, listen, I went to the people told me this thing they don't want, okay? And also, they said meeting the president. You know, you cannot kick somebody out of the party just because he met the president, okay? And meeting the president does not mean that they were legitimizing the president, because those are the arguments that ODM were using. But anyway, my whole point in this number 4 point is this: upholding fidelity to multi-party democracy. You cannot legislate and force people to stay in one party. If somebody feels that they no longer agree with what their party is doing, they can simply leave, okay? Or they can only listen to their boss. the boss is the people they represent. Okay, so they might be in loggerheads. That's why you even see this in US. Okay, I know we use US as an example, but yes, it's a good example. You see there's some Democrats who are considered conservative. They always vote with the Republicans on most issues. Okay, now you don't hear the Democrats say, kick them out of the kick them out of the party because they always vote along party lines with the Republicans. They don't say that because the Democratic Party, they understand that the people that voted them, whatever their constituency is, those are the people who actually the ultimate boss. Yes, they are in the Democratic. I'll give you an example. When the people who were voting for the war in Iraq, okay, the war in Iraq, there are a lot of Democrats, a good number of them, even including Hillary Clinton, who voted for the war in Iraq. Obama did not vote for the war in Iraq, okay? Hillary Clinton did vote for the war in Iraq, along with majority of the Republicans, okay? You didn't hear the Democratic Party say, hey, we should kick out Hillary Clinton because he voted for the war in Iraq. That's what I'm saying. So people like Dallas, they are free to vote against the party lines because ultimately the people's interest, the people who voted you in, the people in your constituency, are the ones who have the last say on whether you should be kicked out or not. So somebody like Dallas, he might be worried because, Langata, that constituency, they are usually very loyal to Raila Odinga, unless the composition has changed. But that's for him to worry about. For now, he's good till 2027. Anyway, number 5, they say respecting the rights of political parties. Again, that ties into the same thing. Every political party has a right. They have their own policies and all that stuff. To me, that's a non-issue for me. This whole thing is a non-issue. I've always argued that this guy they should include reimbursement or paying, compensating the families of those who lost their lives in the Maandamano. That should be number 1. It should be number 1 before even the cost of living. That should be number 1. Because there are people who died for no good reason, and it is because of the recklessness of not only the protesters, it's the government too. Okay, so both of them should agree on this. That's the number 1 thing that it should be in there. But I missed the part that they said ODM, they actually included something about the World Bank, and they say the World Bank should not get involved with this. I don't know how the World Bank were going to get involved in these talks, but if they do, then whatever, they can say that. So we'll see what happens. The ODM party the Azimio party said they might not agree with whatever is said here. So we'll see how that goes. I'll wait to see. I saw Kalonzo and Ichungwa. They've come up with their whole thing. We are waiting for Raila Odinga. I think he's the one who will have the final say. I don't know if he's still in India or he has come back yet. I don't know when he went to do in India. We'll wait for Baba to see they'll make an announcement and we'll hear from Baba what happens. Okay, my final issue. Muthaura, my second Muthaura. Muthaura was in Spice FM trying to tell us that that actually him and Kibaki in 2007 had stopped the violence and that they reached out to Raila Odinga for the talks. Muthaura fails to understand that most of us were still alive in 2007. And if anything, and the person who was asking in question, what's his name? Lenas Kaikai, I forgot his name. Corrected him and told him the fight, the skirmishes did not stop until Kofi Annan got to Kenya. And even when Kofi Annan got there, Muthaura that is talking now, this old decrepit man, he was the one who was telling us that, Kofi Annan just stopped by for coffee. He just stopped by for a cup of tea. He didn't come for... It took Condoleezza Rice to fly in from Washington, D.C. and deported this Martha Karua, the same Martha Karua that you're seeing is singing around in cost of living. It took Condoleezza Rice because they deported the son of Martha Karua from US because he was going to school at US at that time. They deported her okay, and denied them visa from traveling to the US, okay, because Muthaura and Matakarua were really, really talking reckless. If you can remember that talks, during those talks, I'm telling you, if you can remember, for those of us who have memories, go back to the YouTube clips back then. Muthauras were one of the people who were throwing spanner in the works. When the talks were going on, he would come in and have a press conference saying, oh, that was nothing. So when Condoleezza came in from US, arrived, she spent 3 days and told them that they need to work out something. Condoleezza was there along with Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan was getting frustrated. He was like, I'm trying, but the government is not. Kibaki was quiet. Kibaki was listening because Kibaki knew he lost. But Muthaura and Matakarua, that's why I keep on telling my Azimio friends, sometimes you lose credibility. If these are the guys you're still rubbing shoulders with, and you're trying to convince us that these guys are people who will bring change if they get to government, we know their history. Muthaura, don't forget, this Muthaura. Remember, he was telling us that he removed Kalenjin police from the Rift Valley. Go listen to the interview. Go listen. This Mkora, there's a reason why he was in ISIS. There's a reason why. Because Muthaura, Kenyatta, and Maina Njenga, Kenyatta gave out the cash and they put Mungiki as the police forces. The Mungiki folks. Remember, listen to me. Maina Njenga is a useful idiot. They usually use him to bring the manpower to do the killing. Every time they need to do some killing, they bring Maina Njenga. Remember, even this Mandamano that was happening, Mandamano wasn't successful. So what did Raila Odinga do? And his Azimio folks, they brought Maina Njenga to organize protests in Central Province to give this perception that the Central Province are also Mandamanary. But let me go back to 2007, Muthaura. Let's not lose focus. This is what I want to remind people, because we cannot let people like Muthaura rewrite history. We cannot. Kenyans in 2007, it was clear as day. Kenyans knew Raila Odinga won the elections. Central Province only Central Province voted for Kibaki. The rest, and you can hear Muthaura say in his interview, Coast Province was in fire. Nyanza Province was in fire. Rift Valley was on fire. Nairobi was in fire. Everywhere was burning because they knew Kibaki stole the election. Muthaura cannot rewrite that. While the talks were happening, because when Kofi Annan came in, it slowed down. Okay, the fights were still going on, but it slowed down because when he was trying to get these two people to meet, Kibaki and Raila Odinga, and with their teams, okay, this guy will come to the press conference and say, no, these talks are rubbish. Don't worry about the talks. The government has everything in control. And while they were saying that they had everything in control, people were being shot down and killed, butchered in Naivasha. That's when Maina Njenga was killing Luos. They usually some ODM people were saying that, Maina Njenga was only protecting the Kikuyus. Okay, you can argue that he was protecting Kikuyus in Rift Valley after what happened in Kiambaa. We might not, let's not forget this, okay? But ask me, I want you to ask your question. What did the Luos in Naivasha and Nakuru have anything to do with what happened in Naivasha? In Rift Valley? Because that is who I remember like it was yesterday. Mungiki were going house to house. I remember a video that still sticks in my head of this Luo man was trying to board a matatu, a bus, to leave Naivasha. And the Mungiki stopped the bus, ordered the driver to come out, and started asking, where's the Luos in this bus? It is like what is happening in Dagestan. You saw what's happening in Dagestan where they stopped the plane. They were looking for Jews. That is what was happening. Mungiki, they grabbed this man with his family, butchered him with panga. You know, it's better even to get shot. Butchered him with machete. The man was trying to leave Naivasha because it was clear that Luos were being killed in Naivasha. He had nothing to do with what happened in Kiambaa. He had nothing to do with that in Kiambaa. If you want to argue that the Kikuyus were fighting Kalenjins in Rift Valley, I can say, okay, I understand why they did that, because the Kalenjins were attacking Kikuyus in Rift Valley. We know about Kiambaa. We know how they were driving the Kikuyus out of Rift Valley. But for you to say that it was okay for Kikuyus, Mungiki, let me be very clear, not Kikuyus. Not all Kikuyus did this. Mungiki, led by Maina Njenga, who was paid by Kenyatta, it's in ICC, killed Luos, innocent, who were trying to flee. Okay? Then in 2023, Muthaura here he is in Citizen TV, and Maina Njenga is rubbing shoulders with Raila Odinga and is telling he's going to be the next kingpin of Central Province, and he's saying that he's a principal in Azimio, and Raila Odinga is okay with that. That's where we did. I'm sorry, that's where we cannot agree. That's why when I don't care if Azimio come up with great plans, if you're going to let the people who have done such atrocities to innocent Kenyans, okay, the Martha Karuas who are pretending now to be, we are revolutionaries, let's bring down this corrupt government, I cannot take you serious. I cannot take you serious. I can't. We cannot reach any compromise because I cannot get over that. The images of those innocent people leaving Naivasha being slashed down, chopped up to death. They didn't make it to their destination. They died. And none of these ODM people are saying, can we just compensate that? Go even ask Uhuru right now. Can you compensate our people? Compensate the IDPs. It should go both ways. Even the Kikuyus that died in Kiambaa, were they compensated? Were they compensated? Were they? No. We are pretending a cost of living. Electoral justice. That's why I cannot get over that. That's why I'm saying ODM party full of people who actually, these are really smart people, but they choose not to think. They choose not to seek justice. They choose money and prestige over justice and truth. They choose that. Mbadi is a smart man. If you listen to Mbadi is a smart man. You wonder what's Babu Owino is a smart young man. These people are not foolish people. But they choose not to go for justice. Wandani, Ogunja, MP for Ogunja, is it Ogunja or somewhere? These are smart people, but they choose to, because their position is more important than anything. No one is willing to sacrifice their for the truth. No one is really, and that's where true leadership comes. Are you willing to speak the truth about what happened? Why don't you ask Kenyatta? Let's not stop with Ruto, because Ruto is also responsible in here. Let's not stop with Ruto. Let's start with Kenyatta. The people that died. Matiang'i is another man. Raila went and Matiang'i. Those bodies in Rivayala. And those are the people who are ODM are rubbing shoulders with. We, the same ODM 2017, when we were protesting in 2017, Matiang'i was telling us with Kifua Inje, we are not going to play around. What is it called? Shinkorokoro. Is it Shinkorokoro? I don't know what. That term. Yeah? Dumping bodies in Rivayala. These are the people that we are being told they're okay. We are with them. Ruto is the evil one. These people are okay. We should take out Ruto. This is what we are going through. These are the people that ODM and Azimio are rubbing shoulders with. We are told they're a good people. That's why I'm telling you, I cannot take you serious. I cannot take you serious. I cannot take you serious. I'm sorry. Muthaura, I cannot take you serious. Lastly, Osoro. Silvanus. Hey. Silvanus Osoro. Silvanus went to, was it in Bomet? I'm telling you, this was, I thought it was a comic, I thought it was a skit. I thought it was a comical skit when Osoro went to the, and said, hey, you know, mi nimekuwa kwa bunge. Kenya. Ay, my beloved Kenya. Sometimes I even cry. Right now I'm laughing because I'm done crying. Silvanus Osoro. Silvanus is telling us, unajua nimekaa kwa bunge for a while. I've been interpretation. I've been in MP for a while, so now I'm getting paid. Just keep quiet, panga line, listen to what I have to say, and you'll get paid. Hey, Silvanus. Silvanus. Wakenya wenzangu. Tuache mchezo boy. Silvanus was telling you, line up. I've been an MP, you know I'm getting paid now. Money is not a problem. Just line up, be quiet. Silvanus, Osoro. I don't know how this guy is still. I don't know, man. Listen, it's been more than 30 minutes. It's 47 minutes. I'll let you think about what Silvanus said. I can't with him. Go watch the clip. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, this is Kenya Revolutionary. See the name? Type it on YouTube. Subscribe, share, like. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings.